There are leg irons discovered in your home. Were you aware of those?
I was aware that Paul had them. You actually could look on my Amazon. Paul had the option to do payment on the Amazon as well as mine, and Paul had actually ordered those under his account.
You heard Paul talk about plastic ties. What was that about?
I honestly don't remember.
Okay.
I don't know why we would order. I mean, I saw the ties. I don't remember ordering them. I don't know what happened there.
Whose idea was it to get hot sauce and to administer it to your son?
The idea was originally Paul's.
That was convicted killer Shanda Vander Ark at her trial, blaming her son Paul for the abuse that her son Timothy endured before his death. This morning, we're shining our spotlight on Timothy and his mother's efforts to get herself a new trial. So this defendant was sentenced to life in prison without parole for the death of her son Timothy, which occurred back in 2022. He was 15 years old at the time, 5'8", weighed only 69 pounds. At his autopsy, 69 pounds. Think about that. Here's what the judge said to Shanda Vander Ark when the trial was ending.
That's the picture I want people to remember of your son. You took that from him. You took it from him. For what reason, I don't know. Mr. Johnson's right. There is something broken in you. I don't know what that is, but it doesn't negate what you did here. So besides remembering him like that, I'm not going to let you hide in the darkness anymore. People know what you are now. They know what you did. You're not able to hide in the darkness anymore.
That's right. Everything was brought to light. Well, now this woman, who's a lawyer, by the way, wants a new trial. She's claiming that she was in a catatonic state during her trial and that her lawyer didn't provide effective counsel. Let's talk about those things with the man who prosecuted Shanda Vander Ark. Did a brilliant job with the trial. He's become one of our legal analyst guests, and we're so fortunate for that. He's the chief trial attorney in the Muskegon County, Michigan District Attorney's Office, Matt Roberts. Matt, good morning to you. Would you share with us the latest developments? This hearing is set to happen tomorrow with her, and we talked a little bit about it last week when we got the news, but now I understand you have more of a picture about how this hearing is going to go and what witnesses may be giving some testimony.
Yeah, good morning, Julie. It's great to be here again. Yes, we do have some interesting developments in the case because, as you've indicated, the claim here, or one of the claims, is ineffective assistance of counsel. That waives attorney-client privilege effectively for the case. So our anticipation is tomorrow that we will be taking some testimony, or certainly be prepared to take testimony from Mr. Johnson, Ms. Vander Ark's lawyer, as well as a social worker from the public defender's office who worked with Mr. Johnson on this case to negate those claims that she is making about being catatonic and not being fairly represented. So we do anticipate that testimony coming in tomorrow. We've got an excellent brief filed by our stellar our stellar appellate attorney, Heather Bloomquist, who will be handling most of the argument tomorrow. So we're looking forward to bringing more of the truth about what happened in this case out to light.
Which will be fantastic, because this is one of those crimes, as you know, Matt, that was done in secrecy. I think that's one of the things so startling about this when you hear, my gosh, how did this child starve to death? I mean, literally starve to death. I mean, it was just horrific what happened to him. The brutal ice baths, the forcing of the hot sauce, all of those awful things, being locked up in tiny spaces. I mean, it just was brutal, the life this child was forced to live. And do you think that there will be anything coming out that perhaps we didn't get to hear at trial because, I don't know, perhaps was it privilege or something that couldn't come in because of an evidentiary ruling? Might there be something new that we learned that's even more horrific than the facts already out there?
Well, it's difficult to imagine a scenario getting more horrific than what we've already heard. I think we brought out most of the details about what took place. Tomorrow is going to be more about the defense in this case and whether or not, again, the claim being that Mr. Johnson was ineffective. Certainly our position is that he was very effective, did the best he could under the circumstances. There may be some testimony and maybe some reports coming out about her mental state, which were not introduced at trial. But frankly, the reason for that is that they've indicated that they're there is no mental illness, that she was not meeting the criteria for being insane or not criminally responsible. So it was not ineffective for Mr. Johnson to not present a defense that just simply didn't exist. So that those are the details that I think may be coming out tomorrow. And the secrecy part of it that you talked about is absolutely right, that everybody says, well, why wasn't this found out? And the efforts that she went to keep all this secret are just absolutely shocking. But explain why people didn't know, why he wasn't in school, why he wasn't going to the doctor, why even the neighbors and even to a certain extent the grandparents didn't know what his condition was.
Wow, wow, right. And she was diabolical, Matt. I mean, really, I see her as just diabolical. How very smart. Obviously, she didn't get into law school being stupid. Very smart woman, and seemed to really manipulate everybody. The whole situation. Her other son that we know was part of the prosecution. Thankfully, you were able to get his witness testimony in order to convict her. I want to ask you about one of those moments, if we can go back to it, and if you don't mind sharing some more of what you were able to see that, you know, we didn't get to see at trial. So at trial, when you showed her the pictures of Precious Timothy and what his body looked like, she got sick, and we all remember seeing that. And, you know, I think it was feigned. I think she was trying to get the Academy Award. That's just me. I don't know what the jury thought. But you were able to see some other instances with her when she looked at the photos and had a very different reaction. So let's go back to that moment in time now with her on the stand first.
You testified that you gave Timothy a warm bath the night before he passed away, that last night, July 5th. Do you recall that?
Yes, sir.
This is hours before he dies, right?
Yes, sir.
You look like that when you put him in the bathtub?
Vander Ark, do we have a trash can?
I did. I placed a trash.
You did? Yeah, I see. All right. Would you like the beard removed?
These were just how she can come.
Right. Please rise.
Oh, my gosh. Matt, and may I just compliment you? That was a devastating cross that you did on her. It was awesome. And that reaction there, you told us this before, but please, it's worth a repeat for any of our wonderful viewers who didn't see your last interview on this. What was her reaction the first time she got to see those pictures of her son?
Well, the week before, we'd had a motion to keep some of those pictures out filed by the defense in the case, and she was presented with all of those pictures and literally had no reaction. Certainly not to the extent that, and I agree, I think in hindsight this was completely fake, but no reaction whatsoever. So this notion that somehow now being presented with the pictures causes her to, fake vomit or really vomit or whatever you want to call it, was just silly. And it was all organic at the time because she had said that, in her original statement that she didn't give him a bath, and it wasn't until direct examination that she said, well, I gave him a warm bath, and that this was kind of on the fly as much as anything to say, okay, well, let's show her the pictures and see what her reaction is. And I wasn't expecting it, but the jury certainly didn't buy it. That's for certain.
Right. Well, and that was awesome. I mean, and I appreciate you letting us in the inside baseball, that right there, that moment that you had, the moment of the trial, it was on the fly. Just, you're so seasoned, you were able to say, oh, okay, you want to say this? Well, then I'm going to confront you with that. And here we go. And you got her. Matt Roberts, outstanding work. Keep fighting the good fight, and best of luck to you and your colleagues in the appellate division in your office as you proceed with tomorrow's hearing. We will be covering it, and we'll look forward to speaking with you again soon.